Testing, testing. Okay. I don't know what happened. Let's get it going. Why is it so quiet? Why is my spoon so big? Boom. It's so quiet. Come on, give me the music. Here it comes. Peanut. Oh, yeah. There we go. Took a little bite of my food. Mmm. Ah, très magnifique. Kaboom. Boom. Boom. Now the world is aware. We are live. We're alive. We are live. Excellent. Now, if you don't mind, as usual, I don't think anybody wants to watch me eat, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to play. Why? Because I got home. I stayed late, worked a little overtime tonight, which means, well, I've only been home for about 15 minutes. And that actually took a bit longer than I wanted to. Oh, look at you, Norton. Your pop-ups and your bullshit begging bullshit ass. The hell out of here. Oh, pardon my French. Not. Now I've got some... I replaced a couple of crew people, but not the ones I wanted to. So when I go through and I do all that scrapping stuff, bad aim balance, nah. Fleet ship acceleration, navigator scanner power, energy generation balanced, blah, blah, blah. Usual garbo. No worries. It's actually not a bad idea while I'm chowing down here for the first couple of minutes to go ahead and see. Uh-oh. Nah, I don't need relics right now. Plenty of time for relic farming on my own time. You don't need to watch me chase stuff in a barge. My big dumb barge. What do we got here? Tark Oberman. Oh man, if that's any kind of specialist. What could it be? What could it be now? What do you got? Balanced. Oh, man. Specialized pilot for acceleration. Balanced. Engineer specialized to storage. That's a good combination with warp distance. Hey, Diggs BT Dub 7. How's it going? I'm doing a little bit of the boring business for just a moment. I got home a little bit late, so I'm still eating my dinner. But in just a few minutes, we're going to kick it over and start killing some vegetables. We're down to 1.2 million of negative Vang-E rep. And all I could think was, why stop there? All right, got one. But I do want to see. I keep looking out for those fleet commander expanding crew members. Even though I've been doing a lot of solo play lately, I am, range specialist. That could be fun later. Don't need advancement rate. Specialized energy gen, that's always good. You never know, they might end up being better than the one I have now. Oh, that's damage resistance. Okay, if I take you out and replace you with energy generation, our damage resist. Oh, okay, so we're pretty dependent for our damage resistance on that one. So what we're gonna do: mind speed specialist, diversified pilot, balanced tactician, balanced tactician, special crit we'll keep. What is this nonsense? Go away, Ab Center. Nope. Nope. Maybe. Mind speed balanced. What did I get that guy for? Go away. I don't even know why I named you. What was I thinking? Maybe I'll remember what I was thinking later, but probably not. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blee, blue, blah, blue, blorp. Nope. That's kind of neat, but I don't need that right now. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was offline searching for some new crew. 47, 114. Wow. So I think I was looking for a replacement for Claire. Just in case. Yeah, 10%. I think we can do better. Sorry, Claire. Maybe another time. Lucy, weapon range. Lance Biederman, energy gen specialist. Okay. Alright, we'll take those few with us. I already checked all these. Yep. Okay. Any other? Nope. No more stations in that sector. Let's see what's over here. All right. Now I only want to spend another 5-10 minutes doing this before we get to the action, but just in case, I like to check around. Okay. The mining stations have not been good to me, but that is the dominant faction in this area. Oh, come on. Do better than that. We got anything not? Let's try a syndicate system, right? I don't think it's going to make any difference on the kind of crew that spawn, but just in case, we're going to go check it out. How's the audio volume out there? We coming through loud and clear, everybody? Edit quick actions. Done. Karoo. Diversified. Balanced. Level 25. Nope. Well, that's a wee bit disappointing. Ah, Rebel battle station and an escape pod. Well, that escape pod's going to be high level. Hey, Rust89, how's it going? Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Specialized acceleration. Nope. 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 Okay. Did I not get that? Oh my. I missed the escape pod because I looked away to take a bite. Made an assumption, made an ass of myself. Just like they always say. The old people warned me about that kind of thing. Oh, my collector isn't on, that's why. Okay, Lenny. Nope. Okay, this is a new sector, so I don't know why there wasn't very many crew there, but that was really bad. Really bad selection. Well, every ship has a hard cap based on different factors. I mean, not a hard cap, but like there's a limit. Um, let's see. So this one won't go over 12. But I think if I... Yeah, even with different armor on it, won't go over 12. There's other buffs you have to use to get turning speed up. But it should be able to go over 7, so that's kind of odd. I'm not going to say that's not weird. I would check to make sure that you've got your pilots and engineers correctly distributed there. I think just the pilot's the one that matters. Yeah, turn speed. Otherwise, that's a really good question I don't know the answer to. Whoops, I did not mean to store those. There we go. Specialized strafe speed. Cute, but it's wrong. Alright. That's enough of that. Let's get to the Moida. Oh, wait. When did that happen? Not again. I lost another unicorn station somehow. Damn it. Why does that keep happening to me? I blame it on something. Maybe I wonder if my fleet ships did that when I wasn't looking and I accidentally saved it. That's one of the things about playing games until you get really tired, is right at the end you might make a mistake without even realizing it. And then by the time you log back in to play some more, you don't even remember what happened. we got the Vangie. Hey, don't, no. Ah, man. I am not trying to get Marauder here. That is unfucking fortunate. Oh yeah, I got rid of those. I forgot I got rid of the collector beams because it was wasting more time to collecting things I didn't want than it took to cloak and get the things that I did want. That I remember. I just have to hope there's a civilian station around here so I can have my unicorn back. I call it a unicorn system when there's a friendly or neutral station in hostile controlled territory. So like that red flagged, red noted level 52 green system right there used to be controlled by the Vangie. Maybe I won't worry about that and I'll just fight him here because a nice 3-station system should increase my chances of getting attacked. Although frankly I would have thought it would have happened by now. Can't blame those poor, dumb Overlord aliens for being a little bit scared of me. That tickles. Oh yeah, that's fixed for the next patch. That's something I meant to go over. Devlog, work in progress. For those of you not on Steam or the Discord often enough to catch that work in progress. And let's make sure... I'm not hearing game audio here. Is that just me? Am I the only one not hearing that? I should be able to fix that. Line in. Monitor off. Now I hear it. Monitor and output. There we go. And just in time for the Hunter fleet to evaporate before my very eyes. Oh, delightful. With my 1400 shield recharge, they can scarcely make a dent. Oh, they're making a dent now. Look at them go. Are they going to make it? An orange collector beam. Wow. So I got rid of my collector beams. I only had 2 of them. But I got rid of them. And then I took off one of my shields because I have an orange shield generator. I had 2 purple ones on before. Oh, a scavenger scanner in orange. I mean, that's what I use, right? No, I use a Dio sweeper. Right. But I will use one of those. Orange fusion. Look at all this stuff. And again, the reason I'm scrapping it is to give experience, even though it's only a tiny amount. It does give experience to my new crew members, of which there are not many. But they gotta level up somehow. Maybe I'll just delete stuff so that we'll just depend on the kills now, because there's so many more than there used to be of the Vang E coming in. I think I can just rely on the kill side to give me that XP. Yeah. So one thing you can do until there's some kind of inventory collection option to say, you know what, don't pick up certain things or only pick up certain things. One option is to just fly around with a bunch of iron in your cargo bay or whatever you want, and then only delete enough to pick up the stuff you want. Of course, when it's overlapped like this, it's kind of hard to avoid, but it can still be helpful. It'll still save you a lot of time. Oh, we got battleships coming in. That one failed. Is he dead yet? Kill. Woo! That one did not fail. That one almost succeeded. Not particularly interested in the drone bay. Those don't take up any space, so I don't have to worry about destroying them. Destroying upgrade kits just feels like bad luck. Alright, they're all behind me, so let's decloak, re-energize shields, and get the... Whoa! Oh, we got an orange Vangy charger. I can't go too far. That's almost warp-worthy all by itself. Uh-oh. I flew right into their trap. They're closing in on me. But they're too dumb to finish the job. Mom always said you can't fix stupid, but you can try. There we go. Brutality. Heavy laser beam, heavy plasma cannon. I'm done collecting useless oranges. If I don't want it, I'm not picking it up. Oh, here comes the rest of them. We got more. This way. If I could share the things I don't need, boy, man. What a world it would be. Can you imagine if I could just warp into somebody else's new game with this ship and just smash a fleet for them real quick? The kind of a new start that would be. It'd be too much. Might actually make it a little too boring. But just the loot from one wave of this, can you imagine in a brand new save what one wave worth of loot would do? We got a few of them over here. Let's go ahead and rail them down. Man, I haven't had a cloak in a while. Oh, I'm pretty impressed with myself, but that's about to change. Oh, nope, looks like I'm getting away. Poor little Vangy, they just can't get a kill. That guy looked pretty excited, but he was about 3 seconds too late to make a difference. They just can't quite surround me fast enough. Hostile warping. Wow, it's mostly carriers. What a strategic flaw. What a horrible strategic mistake that was. Not that those can't do a lot of damage when they surround you. They're a little narrower. So more of them will be able to point their guns at you at one time. You can use non-combat means of joining the Children of Terra. Absolutely, you don't actually have to get negative rep with the Vang E to join them. It just helps because Vang E are everywhere, and Children of Terra are, well, they're rebels, so they're hard to find. They don't advertise in the yellow pages. Well, that's a dated expression, isn't it? Thanks, Grandpa! Hello, this is the 1930s. We want our clothes, colloquials, and shitty airplane back. Jesus, even Archer references are out of date now, aren't they? They're so trying. They're doing such a good job. Just not good enough. What if you all died and went to hell? Yeah, that's the way. Good job. This is nuts. This is the best I've done against these fleets in a long time. And they are not, other than the wave of mostly the carrier types, they are not pulling the punches. I'm just getting really lucky on the timing. Oh, we're out of bounds too. I don't like to go out of bounds because then some of them will warp away and it gets a little easy. Let's go headlong back into the middle of the system while I still have... Oh, no, never mind. Shields are done. My shields came back. Ah, that one yacht that hasn't died yet because he's a repair ship and we haven't prioritized him at all. Go you. You're doing great. That's it? Don't tell me I'm all caught up. Now, some of them may have warped away because I went into the dead zone, which was an accident. I hate going into the dead zone because of that very reason that they do warp away from it. So we'll try to avoid that. Maybe I should just go ahead and save. Do I have anything really cool? Well, that's kind of cool. I have that charger. I do like pushing my luck, but dying's kind of lame, so... I do not need more orange Ardonian energy barriers. But yeah, one of the hardest parts about being a rebel is that rebel stations are so rare. So it's hard to do missions for them because you have to wait for them to refresh. So you really want like a long range warp drive, really long range, to be able to jump between systems and then like stack up a bunch of missions and then swap to a shorter range one so that you have better combat capabilities, but you're still going to be dealing with the short range warp drive at that point. So I don't know. It's a tough call. $1.23. We've already gone up 35,000 just for showing up and hanging out. Alright, I better destroy some of this soup. Oh, to join? To join. I think it is honored. I think so. Because there's friendly, honored, and allied. I know you don't have to go all the way to allied to join them because, well, you know, even rebels aren't that picky. I will say, if you think you can take down a station, then getting a Star Killer for taking out a Vang E station pretty much guarantees it instantly with 6,000 rep. But that's actually easy, and a lot of people don't like doing it that way because it feels a little too easy. Stations are going to get a buff soon. And boy, do they really need it. Real talk, I try not to get a lot of reputation by slapping stations down. I did it with the pirates because they need to catch up. My pirate reputation is really not that bad. So it's like way too easy to kill their fleets. They don't last very long, and so the time in between just feels massive. Oh my. We could we've got the conjoined twins here. You know that's gonna hurt. Oh, I thought I was gonna have to cloak there, but I guess not. Looks like I can just run away and I'll be fine. Really cannot wait. I am so excited for when their Dreadnoughts get added to these fleets. That's going to be amazing. What was my record for Star Killer? 26 minutes. So yeah, it's definitely the easy road. Golly, they're just melting so fast. They're dropping so much stuff I don't need. Ever since I switched to the improved barrier instead of the Ardonian. Whoa, okay. Too spicy, too spicy. Time to cool off for just a second. Nobody calls me a fizzle and gets away with it, except for that one guy. Called me a fizzle and ran away really fast. He got away with it, but nobody else. Hachi Machi. Oh my. Okay, now we're definitely getting out of here. I'm gonna cruise around for a second, see if I don't find anything else worthwhile, but that's big news from London. Uh-oh. What did I just destroy? I thought I clicked on that. Who cares? Back to base. I planned on being done eating by now, but I got carried away. I was having too much fun there. Why not? I don't think that really has any place here. It could come in handy somehow later on. I don't know. Maybe. $65 million. Holy bowl. 1426. It's not a massive jump. We go from 16, taking two of these off. That's 16. Not quite double, right? So 16 to 20. So we're probably getting like an extra 6 every time I swap 2 of these for 1 of these. But I also want some of these because 2 of these is better than 1 of those. Well, a little bit. Actually, it's not that much better. And eventually I can take off the small battery. Maybe I can just do that now. That was just to help out my max warp range, which I don't really... At that level, it's a full point. At this level, it's 20.4. Oh, it's the 20.8 versus 20.4, so it's really not that big of a difference. Faction gears like that, you know? Need more of those in orange. Alright, so we're saving and we're going back in. High population, high mineral richness. Hi, everybody. All right. Let's get that camera back on. Hi. All right, so let's go over the patch notes while we're waiting. All right, there is an icon added to the fleet ship panel to represent fleet ship cargo. And when it gets orange, that means you're getting close to full, and red means it's completely full. The button to order hold fire now tells your fleet not to fire for 10 seconds instead of 5, which is great for, especially for the big ships, because sometimes it takes them 5 seconds just to turn around. So when you press H to hold fire, and it becomes permanent if you hold shift when you press H, until you order them to fire again by pressing F, or when you dock the ship or warp to another sector, that also resets the shift H permanent hold fire. And this is all work in progress. This is not in the game yet, so don't get all excited. I mean, definitely get excited, just, you know, just remember we're not quite live with that yet. Oh, now the permanent hold fire is ignored for mining and repair roll. So you can still call them off just to get them to switch targets. But they're not going to be able to permanently hold off because that would be really irritating, I think. I agree with that decision. We'll see how it works out. Ah, special crewmen, the NPCs like Miles Per Hour, yours truly, Bogan Bandit, Lady Hawk. They can now come in through distress signal escape pods. Woo, the odds go up a little bit. There's no mention of the odds being adjusted to balance it, so I'm assuming that means in general that the odds are going up. Sounds like it to me. Okay, now blueprints as quest rewards can now be of faction items and will prioritize ones that you have not yet maxed out. In other words, if you already started learning something, you already started learning a blueprint, right? Then there's less of a chance that you're going to get one of those blueprints as a quest reward blueprint. Because let's face it, once you've already learned how to make the basic one, yeah, more blueprints can help, but you could also just make it yourself and then scrap it again. And both sides of that increase your ability to make better versions of it. So it's better, in other words, we're going, with quest rewards, they're going for quantity over quality. They're now going to help you learn more new things less of a chance that there'll be any kind of redundancy. I think that's great. Not like not the biggest change in the world, but definitely a logical one in the right direction. I like it. That makes me happy. The ship panel for view stats button now properly shows bonus space to weapons. Oh, and equipment, cargo, speed, and agility. I'm assuming that means in the shop when you go to buy a ship. Not 100% sure on that. If Lio stops by, we'll ask him. I don't think he's online right now, though. That's okay. It's Wednesday night. I only just started doing Valor Action Metal Wednesday recently, and I almost thought I was going to miss it tonight. Ooh. Fixed cargo space enhancements not working on fleet ships. Cool. And that's talking about the expansion modules to end up at the bottom of the list here that give you a little bit more cargo space but make the ship a little bit heavier. Those will now work properly on fleet ships. Sometimes your fleet ships would still collect loot even when you turn that option off. That should stop happening now when that update launches. And also when that update launches, other AI ships in the sector will not pick up loot. So no more chasing that little miner ship all the way down, waiting for it to warp out, deciding whether or not you should just blast it to get your loot back. Which is especially funny when it's a relic. And by funny, I mean, why would they do that? But hey, you know, unforeseen consequences, gotta be fixed. I always thought it was funny. Some little ship would roll through and just be like, snatch, that's mine. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. There's probably some jerks out there that would do that. But it can be really irritating. Alright, weapons and spinal mounts now properly show the amount of flux consumed, 3 instead of all. The unload cargo to station button no longer disembarks passengers from fleet ships. Fleet ship captains now properly show a tooltip when you mouse over them, like this. They don't show anything, but they will now. Although fleet ships already benefit from every bonus effect on its captain when the fleet ship is active, the stats aren't updated yet when you're editing refitting the ship. Yet. They will be. They will be. This is good news. Good news, everybody. We get any good loot out of this? I don't feel like I've earned any good loot from these guys, because it's like I haven't really been doing anything actively to fight them. But at the same time, yeah, that's a look at that Aurora Borealis across the map of garbage. Let's fly away from that real quick. Look at this poor dumb gate guard coming at me. Oh, he's gone. He got butt gunned. Do. That's crazy. Yes, Zero. Yes, it is. There's so many of them. 1.269. We got another 35,000 since the last time I checked. 2 Vangy Death Rays. Not enough to make me cloak or shield. Look at that. Armor's repairing. Shields are back up. Did not have to pop a barrier for 2. For 3 I do. Well, considering the only things that I actually pick up anymore are orange, It's actually not as hard, as complicated as it seems like it should be. One of the hardest parts is making sure that you cloak long enough before all those missiles hit you. That's a bigger pain in the butt. But when you have 80 DR, even the missiles are kinda lackluster. Uh-oh, I'm out of flux. Because I forgot to turn on my generator. Whoops. That almost went south. Let's go ahead and put in a destination. Hey, no hiding! You jerk. How dare you use intelligent tactics to thwart my death kills of you. Never again. Now they're using rocks to get close to me. Oh crap. That almost went really, really bad. Come on, repair system, don't fail me now. I got a miles per hour, I've got my namesake, and an orange improved repair system, and it still makes me impatient for those armor repairs. Focus the battleships. Come on. There we go. I know that one's kind of far away, but let's see if we can't knock them down real quick. Oh, my shield's not all the way up. What a doofus. I forget that sometimes. I don't know what's weirder, the fact that I forget to put my shield up after I decloak, or the fact that I managed to survive still somehow. Oh, you guys want to come at me one at a time? I mean, that's a massive mistake, but I suppose I can't talk you out of it. There you go. Should have done that when I was still cooling down my barrier. Oh, we got more coming in. Uh-oh, I'm getting into the dead zone. Okay, let's go ahead and take off that, and that. That should be a nice stability bonus. Capital Impulse Mark II. I mean, maybe for some seriously fine-tuned power systems, but wow. It's almost a silly thing to find. Okay, the flux accumulator I definitely want, though. now it should be safe to go back for it. Another doom cannon. Got it. Sweet. So that puts us at what, 9? 10? Holy moly. An improved tractor beam in orange. Oh, I gotta get that. I don't have any of those in orange. Come on, that's too cool. How's everybody doing today? Looks like we got some new people joining us. We're almost at 1.3 million if we haven't crossed it already. Oh, not quite. We're getting there. Zero G, thanks for the follow. Alright, I'm gonna finish this bowl of soup. I'm hungrier than I thought. It's just not gonna make anyone watch me eat. Or let, you know, not that kind of channel. Sometimes we might go a little ASMR just for fun. But the food thing, not so much. Oh, I want that reactor. I know it's not a large reactor, but I want it. Hey, mostly purples by 25 is really good. You're doing well. Most people should not expect to do what I do necessarily, even if they put in the time onto a single save. This save is still under 100 hours, but I have social, where it gives you up enough that it gives 45 reputation gain, and my namesake NPC also gives another 40% reputation gain. So honestly, if you do it without those bonuses, you'll actually get to, if you cross 1 million, you'll probably have a lot more oranges than I do. Or another way to say it is, your ship will be this orange by the time you're at, what, 60% of this? So like 500,000, maybe 600,000. And you should have about the same amount. I'm gonna try to get this burst medium laser just for fun. We get it? We got it. RML. I love a rapid medium laser. Those are quite lovely as well. It's not as good as an orange fast piercing laser, but it's still pretty good. I call them FP. I refer to most weapons by an abbreviation. So you've got ULBs, CPLs, HBCs. I don't usually abbreviate those because I don't care. They're just pulse-on missiles. RML, BML, HLB. for the most part, there's not very much repetition, so... Look at the heavy laser beams just non-stop dropping. My god. But yeah, it seems like the loot drops would get confusing, but honestly, I only see orange. Everything else is just easily ignored. Like, sure, I could go for the upgrade kit, some of the raw materials and ingredients and stuff like that, but I've been down that road enough that I really don't need any of that stuff either. I actually built a 4th Zeus to use for mining, just so I wouldn't have to keep swapping gear on this one. Exactly. It's just static. It's debris. But you do want to get away from it just for the sake of your frame rate and stability. I'm sure it looks just as gross on stream, even though the stream's at 60 frames per second. You're going to pick up the lower frame rate. So we're down to 10. Now, it's still on my radar, which is what actually causes the majority of the static, I think. We lead these ships away. 13. No. Okay, that helped a tiny bit. It's okay. It's mostly the enemy ships that do it. Just their existence, their targeting system, the math of all their weapon fire and stuff like that. So if you want your frame rate to improve, kill them faster, right? There's another VML. Well, they seem to have an aversion. There's our 1.3. If this is another small fleet or mixed fleet, yeah. They usually dodge the spinal attack, so you can use it to kind of scatter them a little bit. Or you can wait for them to cluster up, and then it gives you a better chance at actually hitting them. So I will say this can be quite taxing on your CPU. I run a Ryzen 3600, and I've got 4 8-gig sticks of RAM in it, so that's not the problem. That's not why we're down to 10 frames per second. It's the CPU getting loaded down with math. Now, he does want to do more optimization, but this is not normal gameplay, like, for most people, so it's not high priority, and I have no desire for him to make it a higher priority to optimize the game for this level of play until he has nothing else to do. Or until there's like a crap ton of people that are getting to this point. Like if it becomes a big thing to do where people are crossing that 1 million mark, okay, I can see that getting bumped up the list a little bit, but I can only imagine what my old system, my FX 6300 would be doing right now, probably crashing. sitting in the corner crying, feeling like it failed its... Yeah, maybe exploding. It just might go full gigabyte. Back to you, Steve. Oh, this is called a Zeus. This is one of the special dreadnoughts that you cannot buy. You have to craft it by joining the appropriate faction, which is the Children of Terra. The other one being the Vangi. We got another wave coming in. They don't look like cruisers. Oh, they are though. Oh shit, superior hull reinforcement. No! I wanted that. In case I do an armor build one day. Nice. I prefer the Children of Terra ships, but honestly, the Vangi aren't that bad either. They're pretty good boats. And I can't wait till he adds them to these fleets, because that's going to be a lot of fun. That was close. I thought maybe I could make it, but there just wasn't enough room to get out. That's as good a time as any to go unload all of our loot. You know, that's valid though. The problem is now you won't have contact with your mortal enemies. But that's okay, you know. At least you'll have all of the ships of their faction available to you, and you'll have more stations to try to get their special loot from as well, so it's not so bad. It's just now you gotta go hunt down the enemy. But you take enough Vangi missions, eventually some of them might be in Children of Terra territory. Yep. So the thing to remember about the Children of Terra, right? People always say, oh, it's too hard to find their systems. It's like, well, they don't really have systems. They rarely take control of a system. So if you're looking for their station specifically, you gotta go, you actually have to like clear entire sectors. You have to go explore entire systems, which could be a lot of work. Wait, are they full already? Who did I? Oh, I didn't replace anyone, did I? Hey, that's alright, man. I mean, that's how you learn. When I first started playing, I remember the little bit of backstory scrolling up the screen, and I was like, oh, evil alien oppressors? Well, screw those guys, I'm gonna kill them. And I went on my merry way about killing aliens, and then I destroyed one of their stations and got Starkiller, and I was like, oh, uh-oh. Now they're really mad, they're gonna come after me. Right, that makes sense. Wait, did I remember to save it? I think I did. Wow, so I'm getting like 100,000 rep an hour here, if not more. Just to make sure I remembered to save. I don't like forgetting. But of course, I've also played where I'm indoctrinated. Like starting a game is indoctrinated. And then basically killing every human I come across. You get, not only do you get genocidal and traitor, but you also get marauder. The funny thing about doing that, though, is in a lot of ways it actually makes the game easier, right? Because if you're fighting all the factions, that means you're never fighting one big hunter fleet at one time. You're spreading it around, but you're still getting loot, money, upgrades, stuff like that. You're getting all that stuff without ever having like the one massive challenge. Which is why I haven't really done a lot with the pirates, because I would end up getting a lot of extra loot that would make it easier, and it would take some of the challenge out of it. And I'm already enjoying the challenge of the advanced reputation boost that I'm getting. It makes it a lot tougher to get going early on. You start fighting massive fleets really, really early on, compared to if you don't use the reputation boosts. Mixed wave. I don't even care about Ardonian components anymore. I think I have a Loot Finder 3.0. No? I guess not. There. Just to say I've got it all. Which one am I missing? Is that all of them? Yep, because that replaces the battle computer. Another flux accumulator. Alright, we're going to give that to our fleet, even though they don't really need it. I don't think I need the improved repair system either, but we'll go ahead and grab it. Maybe I need it for my alt Zeus. Wow, they're really railing me. I got down to... Oh, they got me finally! Ah! I haven't died since like 800,000 reputation, I think. Oh, Flux is neat. I thought I cloaked in time, but they just kept going. Something felt weird about that, like they were way too strong. But that's good. I want them to be stronger. Bring me the challenge. Oh, speaking of which, let me grab my thing real quick. Forgot my tobacco plate. Alrighty then. So flux is really neat. There are some ships that benefit just from having some flux stored in the system. But then it also feeds any charging weapon that you have, and the spinal mount turns any weapon into a charging weapon no matter what. And then it can also power shielding, the barrier. It's programmed for many functions. Heavy Vulcan. Well, tell Spock to go on a diet then, damn it. Nah, whatever. Let him eat whatever he wants. He's been through enough. He earns it. Melt. Definitely don't need more of those. I don't think I need more of those, but I'm not sure. We'll pick up the optronic computer. Spinal mounts is a special weapon on ships that are classified as a battleship, which gives plus 10 damage resistance on top of, and this is the only ship so far that has 2 spinal mounts. But that is what it does. Now, not every spinal mount is a 10-point weapon. But it's basically designed to, as it's a super weapon. So if you see anything labeled as a battleship, which includes, let's see, the Empress, the Terror, then there's the Valkyrie, the Achilles, and the Zeus, and then there's the V5 battleship and the V6 battleship. I think that's it. I think that's all of them. But basically it's just a special weapon. It reduces the heat because it's got extra cooling built into it, plus power amplifiers that amplify the effect of the weapon, damage, range, and it gives it a charging effect, and can consume flux to add even more damage. Can potentially double the damage, and it only consumes 3. It just says all. That's one of the things that's going to be fixed in the next update. Uh-oh. Golly, look at them all. I better start moving, or I'm gonna die. Denied. torpedoes. What a dick. Oh yeah, larger ships require crew. They definitely do. This one requires 5 in specific roles. I don't remember exactly what they are. Let's see. Now it's an army. Alright, they're both about to warp out. But they did their part. Well, I don't know, they might be able to stick around for a minute. Nah, Lana's out. Little too close again. Arya, look at you holding on like that. Wow. Yeah, you earned it. Take a vacation, bud. Yeah. I like to think it's efficient, but you know, dying sucks. So there we go. All right. 70 million. Yeah, I think I can afford the repair bill. Oh, I've already got one of those. Okay. Enough Ardonian components that I could build just off of those. Yeah, 4 more Zeus worth of almost 5 worth. Fine components, 10 times what I need. Superior is a little more rare. I've only got enough for 1. Thermal regulator. Whoops. Yep. I know, you would think I'd need a smaller ship to go in between. Or that I might be motivated to invent transporter technology. I don't need to actually dock with the station. I just need to get close enough to it. Hey, until you start doing what I'm doing, having any is good. They're like ridiculously rare. You have to remember a lot of the ones I have came from crafting them because I have a high enough geology at this point to mine iridium. So until you can mine iridium, those things are like insanely rare. Like it's considered hoarding if you have like 5 or 10 of them before you hit level 50. Alright. She's pulling it Adam West. Now I'm over here. What is she chasing? Back to back, Arya. Let's try to hit the same targets. Take them out one at a time. Yeah, they've only got about 600 shield repair. so it's harder for them to keep up. But eventually I'll get them, I'll start putting oranges on them as well. Probably one at a time. Wow. Wow. You've never played a rousing game of Owen Wilson or a cat. Come on, you can take that battleship out while I come over here and distract all the others. We're basically just taking turns running tank for each other while we self-repair. Oh, Arya, the battleship. Take out the battleship first. There you go. Good job. And just think, bigger challenges are coming later down the line in development. This is only the beginning. This is just the infinite scaling challenge that isn't necessarily part of the story or any of the extra bonus content that he wants to add in later. This is just the thing that it was like, oh, I could make this go infinite, so I should add that now, so that people who want to keep playing will have an ever-evolving challenge to keep up with them. Exactly. That's a spinal mount, by the way. The really, really big gun firing out of the arm here. All right, 136, 1.360. Here comes the next wave. And they're little ones. Another repair beam, huh? Hilarious. Those are not particularly useful at this point in the game, but they're still funny to collect. Heavy laser. Yep. This is the candy that keeps us occupied until the main course is served. Appetizers. But God, is it fun. This right here is why I've almost hit 2,000 hours in this game. In case anybody didn't catch that the first time I showed it. Or maybe it's just not visible. 1,964.5. Oh, they're ganging up on her. Not so much anymore. I think she's gonna make it to the next wave. She just needs that shield to start. There it is. Kill the clerics. That's okay. I've been playing it for years. I've been playing this game through early access. It's only been out for like a month. Sometimes I gamble on an early access game, but I don't buy every early access that I think looks fun. Sometimes I wait. It depends on, a lot of it depends on how much I like what I see so far in a game. And most of the early access games that I gamble on typically tend to be really small developers. Like the guy that made this game, Lios, it's just him. He's got a friend that helps with the models for the ships, but the rest of it's him. There's another game I play called Planet Crafters that's made by a French couple, and it's just the two of them. And I was like, you know what? I feel like if I buy this game now, I'll easily get my money's worth out of it, so I'll go ahead and do it. I started streaming this game just to give feedback to the developer, just so he could see live gameplay, and I could, like, you know, think out loud and react to it on the fly. Give feedback and come up with ideas and stuff without having to write it down, without having to overthink it. Uh-oh. We're on top of a station. Let's get out of here. Ariel, let's get the hell out of here. Stations, even though a station by itself is pretty easy, they can still be pretty dangerous when you're fighting these massive fleets like this. Yeah, I kind of bailed on you, I'm sorry, but you're really pissing me off with your proximity to the station, so maybe you should go ahead and warp out, huh? Alright, now it's just me again. Some of these frigates don't mess around, man. They'll be more heavily armed than you're expecting. Well, when I first started streaming Star Valor, I didn't really have much of an audience, you know, 3 years ago. It was pretty normal for me to start streaming and, like, maybe only have 2 or 3 people. But, I mostly did it so, like, you know, just for bug testing and stuff, because if I can bug test live like this and make a video as I go, then it makes it a lot easier for the developer to recreate the bugs, knowing all of the situation around it, everything that was happening when the bug occurred. And sometimes he doesn't even have to recreate it. Like, there are times where something will happen and he'll be like, oh, and he might ask a couple of questions, or he might not even need to. He's like, I'll be right back. And like 20-30 minutes later, he would come back and he'd go, okay. Like in early access, you know, there was the dev branch, the beta branch. And so he'd be like, oh, okay, if you save and quit and reload it, then it should be fixed. After like 20-30 minutes. And I would just be like, okay, and I'll reload the game, and boom, it's fixed. Exactly. Exactly. Video helps a lot, and live helps a lot because I can try to recreate it on the fly so that he doesn't have to try to recreate it from scratch and guess at stuff. You know, I'll still be knee-deep in the situation that created a bug, and he'll just be like, what the heck? Oh, I think I know why that happened. Or I'll exit the game and send him the save file, and he'll recreate it alongside me. And he'll be like, I think I fixed it. 20-30 minutes go by, and he's like, I think I fixed it. And I'll reload the game, and boom, it's fixed. And I'm just like, holy crap, this guy kicks ass. I'm definitely going to support this game as much as I can. So I'd say anywhere from half to 2/3 of that 2,000 hours was live. Now, he didn't watch all of it, but he could at least go back later and watch it if it was important. And if he's not in stream, in chat, and I come across something that seems pretty big, I'll just timestamp it and message him on Discord with the timestamp and the date of the stream so that he can go back and watch it if he wants to. But at this point, like, I can usually describe it well enough. I've gotten better at describing, because I don't know anything about programming, coding, anything. But, like, I kind of get the logic of it to a certain extent, as much as I can without actually knowing the language. So, like, I can kind of be like, well, this was happening, maybe something like this was happening, and just kind of throw some stuff out there. And then he'll go check the timestamp in the video, and he's like, I think I fixed it. Pretty sure it's fixed now. Or I'll just send him the save file, and he can test it himself with the fix from the exact situation where I created it. It's not the reason that I first started broadcasting in the first place. That was to prove that I wasn't cheating in a different game that was an online game. But it's why I started streaming this game and non-competitive games. It's why I started broadcasting. It's like I was never really interested in building a community at first. It wasn't like a thing that I wanted to invest time into. At the time, I didn't have a consistent schedule at work, so having a consistent stream schedule wasn't really possible. And I was just like, meh, whatever. It was just kind of a neat thing to be able to show people like, hey, I wasn't cheating, or hey, this is what I was doing in the game when I broke it. Because I used to break this game a lot. Like, a lot. And not just this game. I have a tendency to break video games really fast. When I watch videos of, like, speedrunners and stuff, and the glitches that they look for, I was like, oh yeah, I've done that before. I've never really gotten into speedrunning, so I don't have the mentality of maybe this could help me, you know, break the game or something, or like, break a world record or anything, but I've definitely broken games before. Just from playing them like normal, I'm just like, what happens if I do this? Oh, I fall through the wall. Now I'm in the other half of the level. Huh, that's fun. I'll just play around with it. Yeah, and the great thing is you can do this with any faction. Now, I'll say this. The Vangi are the most difficult faction to fight this way. But you're right, it does feel like a completely different game at this point. It's this never-ending challenge of not just your ability to build a ship and your strategy on how you deploy it, but just the overall stamina to be able to focus on it for this long. Ah, I missed. But he died. I did die earlier. But it's rare. One of the things that I really got into with this was that it was a great way to wind down at the end of the day. And so basically it got to the point where if I would ever die twice, like way too close together, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm probably tired enough to crash now and get some decent sleep. Mostly only in their sectors, but if I run away, sometimes they'll follow me. But not every time. But to get started on these, you have to be in the sector of the fleet that you're enemies with. So if you want to fight pirates, you go to pirate sectors. If you want to fight Children of Terra, you go to their sectors, etc. I do have 50,000 negative reputation with the pirates, but they only send like 4 or 5 ships after me, and they're not even level 60, so it's like they die really fast, and then, you know, I gotta wait a while for the next one to show up. Ah, crap. I decloaked and there was too many of them near me. Oh, thank God they didn't follow me. I didn't realize these guys ran away to this sector. That could have sucked really bad. Because their armor is not full, so their escape wouldn't have worked again. I mean, very few things. I do have a tendency to hoard orange gear. Anything that's not orange here is probably custom made. Pretty much all my weapons. These are all different custom sets I've gone through. I may use one of the other sets just because they're more fun, but they're not as effective. And then, like, I keep these because they're hard to find in orange, and sometimes I like to have a few. These I know how to make, so I really don't need to keep them. It was handy to have a few, but I've been replacing them with oranges, so there's not really, like, a drastic need to keep them. I can make these, but I go back and forth to using them and not using them, so it's kind of pointless to get rid of them. Same with these. I know how to make these, it's just there's no reason to get rid of them. Don't need these. And then I need to find one more of these before I can scrap them to learn how to make them. Although, wait a minute. I may actually have enough. I do. I do. This is about to get apeshit. We're gonna go completely nanners. Absolutely. Microchips. Now I can make them in purple. And now I've got 10 of them. Now I've got 17. And now, just to say I've got 20, now I've got 20. Just cause. So this is a really funny way to do it, right? 1309. $12.74 just for cranking it down. But we're not going to do it that way. What was it without them? They have diminishing returns. They didn't used to. They were really overpowered. So 1309, 1351, so we got 40, 1385. That was less than 30. 1430. That was only 10, so we're not going to do that one. Now our cooling's only 162 now. Which means those may overheat. That's okay. Because all the other weapons are doing an extra 100 DPS. So what I can do is take off 2 of those to add 1 more of those. That puts us at 175. Good. That's enough. Yep. Blue, green, and red. Oh, these? Okay, so the green number, right? That's how much you're getting directly out of your reactors. That's your base generation, right? The red number is anything that takes an active amount of an active power use, which is your engines, your scanner, your gyroscopes, your shield generators and chargers, your add-on systems, your cooling systems. The flux capacitor only uses power when it's active. The energy barrier only uses power when it's activated. Same with the repair system, just like weapons. Blue is exactly right. Blue is what's left over to run your auxiliary systems like weapons, repair systems, drones. Oh, and it's also how fast your battery charges for things like when you use a warp drive. Boosters are passive, so they only use power when you're thrusting with the booster on. But engines are active, so they're always on. So your engine will always take that 30 or 38 power, and then of course if you double it, you don't get when you use these. Cranking it to 200%, it doubles the power consumption, but not the output, right? So like my base speed is 63, but at 100% it's 53, so I'm really not getting a lot out of it. But it's costing me what? 40, or no, that's 30, about 40 power to crank it all the way up. So 40 power per minute gets me another 63. Oh, it's 38, that's right, because it's double. It's taking an extra 38, so double the power. You can see my 769. I'm getting 230 back, so, and that's for 50. So 770 to 1220, that's the difference. That's how much power my entire shielding takes. So 1670 to 1219, so about 460 power. So over 900 power. About 900 even, just to have my shields up. But yeah, so the green is your raw generation. The red is your anything that's consuming power constantly. And then the blue is what you have left over for your things that you manually activate. So again, that's things like drones, barrier, spotlight even, repair system, boosters, and weapons. And you'll notice I'm not using boosters on this thing because my cloaking device, because I have the ability to permanently cloak. Now, I have to turn down my shields for it, but that's the difference, right? So if my shields are at max, or at least even at 100%, it's consuming power to have my mantle on. But if I turn it down enough, then I have enough raw power generation to run the cloak permanently. That takes a lot of gear, a lot of really powerful generation to be able to handle that. And now, for your viewing pleasure, we'll get back to those later. Now, as you can see, these do not do nearly as much damage. Instead of 1400, we're talking about 500. We do have an explosion radius of 16, but these are flat cannons. It's a very different weapon. Not nearly as effective at killing as the ones I was using before, but boy are they a lot more fun. See, even that no-star guy got through. Normally I would name these weapons something Phoenix related. When I say that one of my favorite parts about this game is that you get to become the bullet hell boss, this is what I'm talking about. Absolute nuclear napalm. And as you can see, I can still get my kills in on the battleships. It does a decent amount of damage. We'll go ahead and let the AI control it again. Just not the spinal mounts, that gets a little excessive. They're not good enough at managing the power. But there's one spinal mount. The other weapon said I only use one spinal mount, and this one I use two. And because of those spinal mounts, it does help to compensate for the general lack of damage. But what's really special about these is, if you'll notice, those small ships are having a really hard time sitting still and flying at me in a straight line, which means they're having a really hard time aiming at me. So it's almost, as much as it looks like nuclear napalm Phoenix Death should be like way more powerful, it's actually more of a defensive weapon. And when you start fighting a lot of cruisers and dreadnoughts, they're not quite as good at that. But when you're talking about a lot of these little ships, they just have the hardest time. It just knocks them way the heck back. It throws off their accuracy, and it pushes them back out of range. So they have a really hard time collecting on me. Now, there's another drawback to these, which is the amount of self-damage you can potentially do to yourself. And they're flat, so the distance of my cursor to the ship determines their range. They'll detonate and cause explosive damage, whether they hit something or not, which is a unique flak trait. But again, I can just do this and just absolutely disintegrate my own shield. Although, when I made these weapons, I didn't have 1400 shield recharge. This is actually kind of... There we go. So again, not nearly as destructive, despite how it looks. You do get the AOE though, so like, it's not a third of the damage. You do get a little extra out of that AOE. It's just not really insane AOE, and the more AOE you do, the lower the overall damage goes. With these battles, especially against the Vangi, you actually want to do more direct damage. AoE is not your friend. You want to focus on killing one ship at a time, because they will cycle, they will repair each other, and you will never get a kill if you go way too far with the AoE. You can see how many of them I've almost killed, and then they run away and get repaired by the other ships. But damn, is it just fun. Now, I will warn you, if you make weapons like these, you may have already noticed a little bit of eye fatigue. Aside from the fact that the frame rates drop down to 5 when I go ballistic. But a lot of that's just the number of ships on me as well, so don't let that deter you. But the eye fatigue is real. You will get tired from literally physically tired from looking at it for too long. Now, of course, the alternative to that, but those are some of my favorite weapons. Especially if you get optics, it just looks beautiful from a distance. Oh, sorry. That can happen too. Not only can you hurt yourself, but you can hurt your fleet ship escorts, your friends. Not the most functional weapon in the world, and I mean, a challenge to use for beginners for sure. Like, I still am not amazing at it, but it never gets old for me. Now, the functional variation of that is non-flak overload Gatling heavy plasma cannons. It's a mouthful, which is why I usually give them their own name, because that's just a ridiculous bunch of things to say. Oh yeah, I even have better plasma cannons for the spinal mount. I forgot about that. These two are nice, but they only generate 459 heat per second for 5,200 DPS. These go with less heat and more damage because I was able to do a better build on them. So this is what it looks like when you don't go with the flak aspect. You get more raw DPS. And if you're wondering, it looks a little the 3-pointers look a little something like this. So one of the problems with turrets that have an odd number of weapon space, like these on the side that are 3, is when you use plasma cannons or beam weapons, it automatically does heavy mount. Or continuous just doubles it like heavy mount does. So it's hard to do an odd number. You have to end up adding boosters to fill out the rest of the space, which is less efficient than a core. So that's one reason I was using those green not continuous lasers, was because then you can just add 3 cores and you get a much higher DPS for what's left. But anyway, the plasma cannons. And I like the rate of fire to be high. It gives you a higher DPS. I like overload because I have all the purple gear. I don't do explode radius. I use boosted. And then you do damage booster. Nadalo. No, not Nadalo. Is that right? No, that's not right. Projectile speed. Projectile speed compensates for a lot of accuracy issues. Now, when you start fighting fleets that surround you, you don't really need the projectile speed as much because you're surrounded, you're not really going to miss. But projectile speed helps when you're not being surrounded by enemies, but you're using projectile weapons. It increases accuracy, whether it's you controlling it or a gunner. Speed booster helps a lot, just a lot. I prefer it to raw DPS for the most part. There we go. So those are the weapons. Those are my 3-point plasma cannons. But as you can see, 98 DPS versus I haven't even added boosters and we're already way higher on DPS, lower on power use. Projectile speed is already the same. One of the main differences is range, but again, I'm being surrounded. Range isn't that big of a deal. So we add that. 2 of those. The heat's only slightly higher, and we're doing over 50% more damage. We haven't even boosted yet, so we can do another one. There. So, especially for odd number, you're going to get a lot more out of not continuous, not heavy mount weapons. It's not as fun, but it's a lot more effective. It's more fun than dying, I'll put it that way. But we're going to test these out. These are the non-explosive radius, non-flak plasma cannons. And they're also just lots of fun. Because once again, you get to be the bullet hell boss if you want to. Which is a very rare thing indeed for a game that doesn't specifically set out to achieve that goal. As some games do. Some games, they flip the classic top-down shooter dynamic where you're the bullet hell boss. But you have to be careful when you make a game specifically like that, because some people don't want to fight a bunch of little ships with a big slow ship. It's slower action, but it's more tactical rather than reflexive. Alright, so we'll let the gunners take control here. Except for the spinals, of course. And you can see that this is quite a bit faster at killing than the flat cannons were, even though it doesn't punch them back as much, if at all. But it definitely kills a lot faster. So these are doing a good bit more damage than the other ones were. Usually about 200 more DPS. Which when you're going from, you know, under 500 to almost 700, it makes a big difference. And then the improved versions of the spinal weapons. Just demolishes these guys. It's a much larger projectile than the laser-based, so the accuracy is a little easier on these, but they'll still work to avoid it. But these weapons remind me of the Stargate drones. The drone weapons of the Ancients and Stargate. Little yellow things that fly through the air. That's what these remind me of. The difference is these don't home in on an enemy. But maybe we'll get a trait like that for weapons in the future. I bet modders are working on that if Lyos isn't. And by the way, if you're not on the Discord or the Steam forum, you could be missing out on some really odd mods. Just letting it run in the background. And yes, official modding support is desired by the developer, but it has not been implemented yet because even just making the platform for official modding is really a lot of work. For a solo developer to put that into a game, it takes a lot. But there is a pretty strong mod community. There's pretty active people on the Discord, and who knows, maybe they'll help with actually building the platform itself. It's not uncommon for indie devs to start looking at certain modders and the things that they build for a game and actually bringing them in to help with actual production of the game itself. Now, there's a lot that Lyos obviously wants to do himself, especially, you know, maintaining creative control and maybe bragging rights, you know. But I would not be surprised if we got some really major contributions out of the modding community along the way. Some of the stuff they've done is already really impressive. Wow. Okay, I'm screwed. Time to go. So you can see why it's really important to use those higher DPS weapons rather than the fun ones. But that doesn't mean there's not a place for fun weapons. Like right here. Oh, that's only level 46. Just obliterates them. And the nice thing about not having flat damage explosion radius is that you're not going to do any accidental collateral damage. There's no splash damage to hurt your friends or yourself. So that's a nice upside to that. So to compare a level 56,000 Hunter fleet to 1.4 million Vang E fleet, just to show the difference. Although I'm sure it's not really needed, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty funny. Oh, and neat-looking weapons are a great excuse to get optics, even if it's not really something you want to spend points on. Although it's a lot harder to run weapons like that when you don't have full combat engineering. But if you don't plan on using a fleet, then it can reduce the amount of points that you spend on social that you can then put 11 points here. but I prefer even just a crew bonus as a born leader you would lose, and I don't like that. You would lose 3 of those. 4? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh, I guess I'll chase a relic since we're waiting around anyway. Oh, there we go. See, their spinal mounts are nowhere near as powerful. I wish they were, though. And that's a repair ship, so he's now running away. So that's a level. That's what happens when you're at 50,000 rep. And when you first get to 50,000 rep, that is a challenge to defeat. That's a lot going on when you've only got like, what, maybe 300 shield recharge at most, and that's on a Dreadnought. Ah, I forgot I don't have collector beams. Gotta stay hydrated. But enough about that. Let's go here. And somebody was talking earlier. Who was that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Koma Kinux was saying that the game is clever. It can literally be intense and nuts like what we're doing here, or you can just chill out and relax. Exactly. So for a while, when I wanted to gather more materials, more crafting materials, I would actually refit this ship for it. But then I got enough materials together that I was able to just build another one of these specifically for that purpose, which kind of felt absurd at the time, but like, I mean, what else are you going to do? It was silly because I didn't have anything else to spin stuff on. Oh, the relic. Yeah, I actually skip a lot of relics. I've got 14 now, and I mean, you can see I've used a few. A lot of the chargers I have, I'm getting low on relics. 14 is really low. It's basically empty for me, but a weapon set needs, what, at most 9 or 10. But I've got plenty of upgrade kits, so the relics only get used for going to purple. So I could build another weapon set now just for fun. Hint, hint, if anybody had any curiosities or anything. I think the most relics I've ever had was like almost 100. I don't know if I ever actually had more than 100, but I know I've had at least 80. But that was early access on a different save. Yep, absolutely. Only use relics for non-purpling in a severe emergency. And even then, probably just don't. So these are using a different kind of overload Gatling plasma. So this is yet another weapon set. Not the same as this Zeus. See, different ship entirely. Most of my purples are here. It uses a warp mod, some collector beams, 18 PMC refineries in purple, large expansion module. Now, one thing I will say about reactors, 1663, 1640. So 3 of these is way stronger than one of these. And 3 orange ones of the small one is way stronger than one of these in purple. Which is usually the case, but like it's a big difference in this one. Really, really big difference. There's just not much you can do with 3 space. I guess we could add a flux capacitor, and that's 2. And then add another combat mod for some extra damage. And so the entire purpose of this ship, with its 275 cargo space, is to go right here to this system, basically just from this system to this system, to do this. Oh, can't forget to actually turn the refineries on. Now again, by the time I actually built this ship, I didn't actually need crafting materials for any reason. And I certainly didn't need money. This was pretty recent, but it was more just to do it, just for the sake of doing it. In case there was a need for it in the future, I would already have it built and on hand. And my cargo bay is full, that's 275 worth. And we'll just wait for the refineries to knock some of it down. And of course, if you're just looking for something like iridium or scrap or refined metal, then you just destroy the stuff you don't want to pick up more of the stuff you do want. Like, who needs gold and platinum, right? First world problems. My cargo bay is clogged up with all these excess precious metals. Like, sometimes I still need lithium and silicon to build the minor ingredients for some of the other gear that I have, like the combat mods, stuff like... Oh, I accidentally destroyed the scrap metal. That's okay, we'll get more. Not enough refineries, damn it. I need more refineries. That's what I should have done. Screw these. But you really don't need... When you've got 70 damage resistance, you really don't need a lot of shielding going on. Do I even need that much reactor power? I don't know. And we're back to 41 scrap. Don't need samarium. Don't need gold and platinum. Don't need silver. Don't need any of that stuff. Now, there's certain things like titanium and copper and bismuth and cobalt that you might need for weapon crafting. But for the most part, when you got $70 million, it's easier to just warp around to find it. When you're out here mining, you focus on the things that you can only get via mining. Again, iridium, refined metal, and scrap. And if you don't have that much money, then you just save some of the gold and platinum But by the time you get to the point where you're able to mine iridium, where your geology's up that high, you probably already have way too much money anyway. And mostly what you would spend it on would be like buying other ships to experiment with, just for the hell of it. Like oh, I've got, 72 or 80 fleet points. What if I want 40 shuttles? And then you go around and you find 40 of the same shuttle, or 40 different shuttles, and you just get weird with it. Like Lady Hawk spent, one of the regulars in the Discord who plays a lot, spent a ridiculous amount of time farming up Zeeps, which is one of the worst shuttles in the game, just to prove that if you have enough of them, they can actually be useful. And it's not wrong. 40 of a bad ship is still a big fleet of ships. And they'll take out a Ravager before half of them have warped out. Like, I think it's like a third of them warp away by the time the Ravager's dead. Now, is it useful in hunter fleets? Probably not. Is it dumb to have them for hunter fleets? I don't know, maybe it still helps a little bit. But that's what it's like getting materials late game. There's not much to spend them on, but at least you have them. And you never know, there might be new things to craft in the future. There might be new craft-only things like the Zeus and V6 are. We're still refining all that ore. Now, the asteroids in an asteroid rush don't have quite as much DPS. They don't hurt as bad. But they will try to kill you. I mean, sorry, they don't die as fast. They hurt more. See, I'm already getting tired. Not stopping yet though. It's too soon. You need to store all that. Just in this one station, I've got 58,000, 80,000 of platinum, 40. I've got ridiculous amounts, but zoom out and you see all the boxes. There's little stashes everywhere that I've dropped off. People, stashes. Decent sized resource stashes. Just in case. Just because it's pointless to sell it. I don't need the money, and maybe I'll need the resources one day and I can go get it. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of ore just sitting in this one. Now I think if I switch off this ship, it shuts off the refineries, but just for the heck of it, we'll leave them running. Okay. There we go. And it looks like a very specific kind of leaf now. Anyway, moving right along. Oops. Did I say that out loud? Now, if I manually fire every weapon I have constant, yeah, it drains my battery. But when you have them set to manual, it's not going to do that. It's very rare that your weapons would fire constant in manual mode, and I have enough power and battery that it would have to do it for a long time. Alright, so we're at 1.4. Let's at least get to 1.5. That's what I'd like to do. Oh, did the battle start? I'm such an asshole. Oh my god. Like really, I just have to hold down the space bar to keep it from moving. Until they start sending battleships. I mean, if they're not going to surround me, they're not going to win. That's the bottom line. So there, now that I've forced them to surround me, maybe we can call this a challenge. Maybe not. There they go. Now they're getting it. Now I actually have to move so I can avoid cloaking. Yeah, those frigates can really bring it. They are deceptively powerful. You won't notice one or two, but then all of a sudden 5 or 6 get on you and you're like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. Oh, cargo space. Now this is with still with those extra 100 DPS on each of the side guns for having those combat mods at the expense of a little bit of shield recharge. I don't know how often that's going to save me, but I'm going to stick with the extra damage. It's really not that big of a difference. Nice. And massacre. Look at that. That's a good swarm. Too bad I was already in motion. That's the weakness of a swarm. If the enemy's already moving, you're not faster than them by a significant enough margin, then it's really, you don't really have much of a swarm going. Of course, as I run away, I'm not dealing as much damage because I'm not facing my primary to them, but I can always use lateral thrusters to compensate for that. Go. Now, of course, an orange flux capacitor, I'm getting a flux every 14.5 seconds. But I'm using 3 every 20 seconds if I keep firing my spinal mount, so I will have to lay off of it for a minute to let it recharge, just to make sure I have some for my shielding, my barrier. Wow, I've been finding a lot more orange chargers today. That's very nice. $14.19, $14.28. Another one. Holy cow. That's neat. We're gonna hit 1500 shield charge today. I won't argue with it. Another one. What? What? Yikes. Pushy little bastards, aren't they? Damn it, that was really bad shooting. But I still killed him. And I'm not dead yet. Could be worse. Oh my. Uh-oh. Need to be looking closer at my radar. Alright, now I'm on the outside edge of it. Let's take that one out. All by yourself, huh? There we go. Yeah. Ever so considerate. Probably be a while before I find any more of them, though. That's fine. Sometimes I go hours without finding any, and I just got like 3 or 4 in a row. Shit. There's just so many of them. Yeah, I should probably try to avoid dying since I did find so many. But they are kind of exposing themselves pretty heavily just to get those shots in, so should also take advantage of that. Uh-oh. That's quite an escalation. Oh, crap. Damn. It's alright, this will give me a chance to get... Look, when the 2 different ships overlap like that, it's pretty funny. It's give me a chance to recharge some of that flux. Just destroy it all. Anything not orange can pretty much go away. Ha! Got that one up top. And that one. This one melts. Alright, back to the battleships. Probably shouldn't just fly right into the middle of them, but did get a lot of good hits in there. Hostile warp-in detected. Okay. And it's all battleships again. So yeah, they're definitely warping in much faster than I can handle them. However... Wait. Okay, that I can't handle them. That's not so bad. That should at least smooth things out a little bit. What is that like? One could definitely develop a bit of a god complex from this, I imagine. Okay, until that happens. Got him. Melt. 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 Caught you first. Oh, okay, I guess I'll pull off away from 6. Or not. Come on, gunners, focus on one at a time. Otherwise, we're just going to keep getting hit by these spinals. Yeah, see, now suddenly I'm not getting any orange drops. That's called RNGesus. Unbalanced. Uh-oh. Alright, time to take a little bit to move around. And now our armor's mostly full again. So we'll jump back in. Now this frame rate is just killing me. It's enough to make me want to get a CPU upgrade for this game. Just for this game. Just realized I don't have enough flux for a spinal and another barrier. And that's okay. They're really trying to get that battleship back in shape. But that's my primary target, so it's not going to happen. Hostile warpin detected. Oh my god. Maybe they will get the chance. Wow. That is a lot. Alright, we have to warp out. Just so there's not so many ships on at once. I don't want to crash. Look, we're up to 70 FPS. And that's because that's where I have it capped. Yeah, 176, 180. Jeez, 190. That's the toll it takes. If it could scale the resolution on ships that aren't on screen, that would be really cool. And like, I don't know, simplify the math when there's more than 100 ships on the screen at one time, or in the same system at one time. If there was something it could do to the math, that would be really cool. That would like nerf it a little bit. I don't know, some kind of a standby mode for ships off screen. Or some kind of a simplified formation AI rather than individual AI. Watching these guys just annihilate themselves. Really funny shit. Alright, 1.45 million. Not bad, not bad. Come on, Dab. I don't know, Lynn. I think they're just gonna keep dying. I don't really think I can talk them out of it. Oh no! I hit my cloaking button while I was still holding down the spinal mount button. Oops. Yeah, you gotta let go of the trigger before you can cloak, or it just cancels your cloak. There's no aggro break in it. least not enough of one to matter. Go ahead and grab a screenshot real quick. And we're going to keep going for sure. No! All my private informations. Yeah, good luck with that one. Bring it on. I remember there was a point where I could just AFK these guys, but there's just too damn many of the too many of the battle cruisers now. Hell, even the fleets of small ships can do a pretty good amount of damage. Lana! Lana! Shrug. Only need another 28 more of these in orange or 14 of those. Either way. Why did she rush off like that? Now I can't cover both of them, but we can't cover each other. That was kind of dumb of you. That poor dumbass civilian got in the way. Oh, what an asshole. It's a bad day for that guy. Yeah. Like, oh wow, I didn't realize I just drifted on out into a massive war zone. Who knew? I don't know, maybe the 3 Children of Terra massive capital ships in Vangi territory should have been a giveaway that something bad was about to happen. Just, you know, a little clue there, maybe, that things were about to go south. I just saved your ass, Arya. Stop running away, dumbass. just played Spaz 2 for the first time and has so much fun with ship customization. Would there be anything this game could benefit from Spaz 2? I don't know. I mean, this game's a solo indie dev. I know he has a pretty good idea of what he wants to do for the rest of the game, but that doesn't mean he's not open to suggestion. I mean, he spent the last 6 years working on it, so I wouldn't expect anything too dramatic to be different, but there's going to be stuff added for sure. And if a suggestion's good enough, then I'm sure it'll go into the eventually pile. But I haven't played a lot of other games like this, not recently, so if you go onto the Discord, I'm sure you'd want to be a little more specific, but he's probably more versed in the genre than I am. That miner doing the same thing, accidentally drifting out into a war zone. I like how it's a regular orange huge battery and not an Ardonian. That alone makes me want to go grab it just as like awkward trophy. Yeah, only show me the orange stuff. Oh, I died. I didn't even realize. Oh, that's a sign. I'm exhausted. I'm thoroughly tired now. But that's why I do long streams on the weekends, because these are usually much shorter during the week. Oh shit. But I also put all of my past streams on almost all of them on YouTube. In fact, I think I'm due to drop one soon. Yeah, I could probably drop the last one tonight from last weekend. I mean, it's still on Twitch, but I might as well. But yeah. Oh man. I could feel my brain slowly doing the fade to black little circle wipe from all the old TV shows. But thanks to everyone for hanging out. I'm going to call it a night. I'm getting exhausted and obviously quite careless. I wanted to hit that 1.5 million mark. We almost made it. But we'll definitely hit it this weekend. If not Friday night, then Saturday. Woo! Because why stop there? Why stop there? We're going to raid someone? Let's go raid Ziggy. Just for shits and giggles. Why not, right? Ziggy's played the hell out of this game. Oh look, bots. Cool, I get to ban them right before the raid. Let's do that first, so Ziggy doesn't have to deal with bots. That's called courtesy. Alright, good night everybody, and let's get this raid going now. Oh, it's probably not even going to register.